Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals last night, and really, we could have called game after the first quarter when Luka Doncic outscored the entire Minnesota Timberwolves team. How you do that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. After the first quarter, I was like, well, Minnesota, it's been real. You had a great run, but it is officially over. And so then here I am sitting through 3 more quarters like, why? 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 Can I reclaim my time? It was, man, they did take home one. Game 4 is theirs to remember forever, but nah. That Luka said it ain't gonna happen, and we're gonna do it in your home. I love it.
And you know what? I should have known better because game 4, Anthony Edwards was like, I just didn't want to get swept. I just didn't. He seemed really happy with forcing a game 5 when really that should not have been the ultimate goal, right?
Right.
When they went home, it should have been, renewed energy, effort, and focus. And we just did not see that in game 5. It was just a slaughter. I just couldn't believe it. I watched the entire game like you and was like, is there a chance that they could come back on this? And it just wasn't convincing. There was no point in the game where I felt like the Wolves were going to win.
Absolutely. Not at all. Not at all. That's just, you know what? And the better team won. And I think that in the end, we're going to enjoy what the finals will look like. And the Mavs in Boston is where I'm putting my focus on now. But that game, that game 5 was like pulling teeth. It was slow torture for me. I was like, you know what? After the first quarter, what was the point when they was up by 21 points, the Mavs? I said, what are we
doing? I know.
If you can't go back to back on the energy you gave in game 4, then you have no right to be in the NBA Finals. No right. So yeah, the better team won.
Sure did, because there's been a lot of talk about the best backcourt duo, right? With Luka and Irving. I mean, they teamed up for 72 points, basically scored all the points for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it was unbelievable. And it's so unique about Kyrie this season, and particularly in the playoffs. It's like he allows Luka to go and do his thing, and then it's a nice balance between the two of them. They figured it out, and it's not overkill one way or another. It's almost like we're going to get everyone else involved, but we're also going to get ours, and it's just beautiful basketball, honestly.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I like the role that Kyrie is currently playing. I think it is beneficial to their overall success so far this season. And Jason Kidd should be extremely proud. You know what's so funny? Because the last time, if I understand it correctly, the last time the Dallas Mavericks were in the NBA Finals, Jason Kidd was playing. Isn't that crazy? And that was in 2011, I think, when they won the chip. That's amazing. That is amazing. So to stand there and you're now coaching the team to win an NBA trophy, that must be surreal for him. That's pretty cool. He seems so humble in the post game, talking to them before they gave out the was it Magic Johnson Award, the conference finals MVP award. It seems so humble, but almost like I can't believe I'm here. I loved it.
Yes, you're talking about a full circle moment for Jason Kidd. And, I was so happy to see Derek Lively II back on the court. But I will tell you, I held my breath when Naz Reid hit him in the back of the head.
You know what? I still, for some reason, I know they ruled it out for concussion. So he's not on concussion protocols. But that neck strain, the way he was tapping his leg after it happened, I felt for him. He was still, because I remember at the top of the game they said he will play, but he's sore. When you are sore and you happen to tweak it, my hamstring.
Right? You know what?
I can only imagine how you feel, because if I step wrong or walk up a step wrong with my hamstring being tight, it is extremely painful. So I can imagine him being in active play, to have snapped again was just awful for him. But he persevered and he was able to shoot his free throws, continue to win the game. So, for him, that the victory in winning is like, look what I gave my body up to. The least we can do is win.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. It was so funny. I'm watching the game and I'm like, are we going to see Rudy Gobert shoot all the shots? I mean, at one point they were feeding him the basketball as if he was their number one option. That was not a recipe for success. And they clearly went away from it. They went away from it at one point because it was just so comical. Rudy ain't never been the first option nowhere. Like, what?
They got caught up in the fool's goal when he did that turnaround 2-point. I want to say that may have been game 3. Maybe game no, it was game 4, right? Because the game they won. I think they kind of got caught up in the fool's goal with that and was so excited for Rudy Gobert because anybody never seen him do that. But that's what it was. It was fool's goal. Rudy is not the one. He barely number 3, if I'm going to be honest. So number 1, never.
Right. Yeah. And then they didn't get anything from Jaden McDaniels. Honestly, Jaden looked like he wasn't really into the game. And this is the guy who said they were going to run off 3 more. See, this is why you keep your mouth shut. Right. And you perform on the court. How you show up to the game after making those comments and score 8 points and minus 13 on the court? Like, what?
Exactly. Your mouth wrote a check. Your basketball skills couldn't catch for game 5. Now, I'm not saying he is not a good player. He has showed up in the playoffs. I understand that. But in game 5, no, he was missing that action for sure. Yeah. Especially on offense. Yeah.
Yes, he was big time. Wasn't a whole lot to see in this game, because the Mavs had just taken over. And I was surprised that Coach Kidd allowed his players, his stars, right, to play so long. The game was won. You up 30-something point. Well, it was like 38 or 28 points. I mean, it was really a blowout. And I was like, oh my God, please do not get hurt. Nobody. Just be healthy going into the NBA finals.
Oh my goodness. And now with the multiple days off because the finals don't begin until June 6th. Ooh, everybody's gonna be healthy. Or rusty. Game 1 may be interesting to watch. It's going to be interesting to watch to see who actually kept up with some type of physical activity so they can not be so busted and tired and, just sleepy, lethargic almost because you haven't done anything, to see what that looks like in game 1.
Are you concerned that Coach Kidd just did not play Tim Hardaway Jr. much at all? And then, was it Markieff Morris? Both of them were DNP, and I want to say for the last couple of games, Morris was a DNP. But do you think they'll be able to showcase their talents more in the next series against the Boston Celtics, or are they just bench warmers at this point?
They're just bench warmers at this point. Even if they do step in, it will be ineffective, I believe. Because really, at the end of the day, I think Jason Kidd has identified his core, and core extending beyond the 5 starters. I think he's identified who that is, and he's going to go with that. Unless he wants to get a new look, and unless he wants to just change up how they look, as I mentioned, I say it twice, that's crazy, but I think that they can be used for that. But other than that, useless. Championship run, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about what's coming up, right? We know we have about a week or so to the NBA Finals start, but how must Grant Williams be feeling? Because he was with the Boston Celtics for a while. He was with the Dallas Mavericks as well. And both teams are going to be in the NBA Finals. And the other storyline for me is how Kyrie going to show up in Boston. I cannot wait to see.
You know what? I thought about that, but I don't know if he would show up any different than who he is right now. Today's Kyrie, based off of what I've been witnessing with his time in the Dallas Mavs organization, doesn't give me Kyrie of old. Cocky, it doesn't give me that. It gives me humble. It gives me thought-provoking. It gives me awareness. It gives me, I'm going to come in. We're going to play a game collectively together. And we're just going to get this win. I don't get revenge. Like I'm gonna watch me go into this Dallas Mavericks. I'm sorry, watch me go into this NBA final, and I'm getting ready to get some revenge on the Boston team. I don't get that. Now I'm not saying that's not gonna
Ooh,
happen, but I don't get that today. I don't get revenge.
okay. I agree with you. I also get maturity from him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just, it's like he's on another level, and it's almost like I've been here before, and I'm gonna take my guys with me. At the same
Mhm.
time, though, I'm here for the revenge, right? Because the Boston Celtics fans ate him up while he was there, and then when he left to go to the Brooklyn Nets, that was a sour transition. And when he
Mhm.
came back as a Brooklyn Net into Boston's arena, it was nasty, him
Mhm.
stepping on the logo at center court.
Yeah.
I'm here for all of that. And I just want to see how he's going to respond and how the Celtics fans are going to treat him when he come back. Because is he going to burn more sage? I mean, what are we talking about with Kyrie
Oh,
Irving? I can't wait
okay.
to
So,
see.
so the Boston fans will not like Kyrie Irving. I would not be surprised they boo him on the moment he steps on the court. So I expect that to happen. I think that his reaction to that will not be what they're expecting. And so it's just going to be a little bit different. Because I agree with you. I think he has matured to a different level now. And I don't think it's going to bother him. We won't, it remains to be seen. But I don't think he's there in that
Mm,
revenge type
okay.
mode. He doesn't give me that at all.
Well, he gave me a great soundbite that I can carry on into the NBA Finals, and he said, "Boston Celtics are in the way of our championship."
He sure did say that. I heard
Mm,
that. And I said, wow. So that's how he sees them, just as an obstacle. That's it.
mm,
And they're going to
mm,
go and do their job that they've been doing for the past few series in this playoff run, and then hopefully secure the victory. It seems like it's coming in here to get this job done. And we're going to be very good at it. That's what I get.
Okay. Now, how nice would it be? Well, you know what? Regardless of whichever team wins the NBA Finals, you either gonna have Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown winning their first chip, or you're gonna have Luca winning his first chip, or you're gonna have Kyrie winning his chip without LeBron James, and a lot of other guys like PJ and Gafford
Mhm.
and Lively, everybody basically winning their first chip. So
Yeah,
I'm really going to be excited for either team, but I'm just going to go on the record right now. I'm pulling for the Dallas Mavericks to come out of this.
I know. Initially I was like, oh, Boston, the way their playoff run has been curated, they should be pretty good with winning the championship. But now after watching the Dallas Mavericks, especially in the conference finals, and seeing PJ and Lively and Gafford, I'm like, you know what? Are you ready? Porzingis, you coming back? If you do, are you ready? I I don't know. Hey, it's gonna be something to see. I, I want to know how the matchup is going to really happen because both teams have some pretty strong players. I mean, you can never count out Derek White on the Boston Celtics roster because he is almost like the Swiss Army knife, kind of what Batum was when he was with the Clippers at that time. He gives me
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to be anywhere and everywhere. You never know what you're going to get from me. That's what he gives me. So I just can't wait to see this matchup and how they really play each other because there's so many, as you mentioned, so many storylines in this matchup that the media's gonna have a field day with.
You know what? Yes. And I'm going to be looking to see who Drew Holiday guards and how he will show up in the finals.
I'm telling
Because
you,
I think he's too small to put on Luca. He's definitely strong enough, but I just don't know. And then the bigs for Dallas. Well, Al Horford, What?
that's what I'm
What?
saying. What are you gonna
The
do?
way
I
they
know.
jump out of the roof. I mean, Derrick Jones Jr., Gafford, and Lively, they're so bouncy.
Yeah,
What?
I'm telling you, I know. This is gonna take a different type of play or more elevated play, I believe, from Jason Tatum. He's gonna have to turn on something different for me to be impressed. And he cannot disappear. This series will not allow him to disappear. I'm not necessarily worried about Jalen Brown. I think Jalen Brown's gonna always bring the intensity as he does currently, but it's the Jason Tatum piece for me. And I don't know how is he going to show up against these people. And I think he's going to have to end up being point center at some point if Porzingis doesn't come back, because Jason Tatum is strong as well. And he can be, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, sometimes passive. he can't be passive with the Dallas Mavericks, not with those three guys protecting the paint, all up in your face, blocking shots. So Jason Tatum is going to have to do something that's going to be a little bit elevated for him to lead the Boston Celtics team to a win.
Yes, and especially because Jaylen Brown won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, everybody's going to be looking at Jason Tatum. And not that they're battling against each other. I think they're boys, but there's still an inner drive, and a lot of spotlight has been placed on Jason Tatum and not Jaylen Brown. So when Brown won the MVP, everybody's like, "Oh, Tatum, how you gonna respond to that? You know, are you gonna show up in NBA Finals because there's another trophy to win? Obviously, the NBA Finals trophy, but the NBA Finals MVP."
Right. Exactly. So the burden, unfortunately, is going to be on Jason Tatum to lead the Boston Celtics to their first championship with this roster. And it's going to be hard. I think that if the Dallas Mavericks, Luka and Kyrie specifically, play how they've been playing, they'll give Boston a run for their money.
Mm-hmm. And both teams are not that good at home. So we're looking at a bunch of road warriors. They like to go in and upset on their opponents' floors. So this series, yes. And I think Porzingis will be back. So we're going to be looking at two very healthy teams in their stride, fighting for either the 18th banner, overall, or the second banner for the Dallas Mavericks.
The second banner. That's going to be amazing. Right. I can't wait to watch it. So you guys enjoy your time off until the 6th of June because we're going to be locked and loaded at that point.